Okay. So this is Ruth Rebecca Finell. Is that how you say your last name?
It is.
Okay. Well, I've got 10 questions that I'm trying to cover, but sometimes you answer some of the questions that I will be asking, and so I'll skip over them as
Okay.
needed. But the first question is, when you think about the people you who have been most successful in your organization or industry, what qualities, characteristics, or skills do they consistently demonstrate?
Okay. Thinking of people one sec. Okay, so in my organization, my favorite people, I would say people who learn on their own. So if they don't know something, they go and figure it out. And today that's easier than ever, right, with AI.
Yeah.
But I think that's a big one. I've had a COO who was probably one of my favorite employees of all time for a decade, who, if he didn't know something, he would just go figure it out and come back and show me. And that was my favorite thing. I could rely on him for any new thing that we come across for him to figure it out.
Oh, awesome. Um, do you do a lot of hiring yourself or where you interview?
Yes, I have.
Okay.
I'm in a startup right now, so we haven't hired a lot of people yet, but I have in the past.
Okay. Um, when you think about the best people in your company, um, how were they first discovered or noticed?
Um, well, usually they're standouts in their space in the industry.
Hmm.
So already, most of the people I hire are already employed, and I either hear about them or search and find them. LinkedIn is a great place to find people. um, so generally, well, let's just say the ones that I've heard about, somebody tells me they know this guy who's great at whatever, and then I'd say they already have a reputation for being really good at their game,
Okay.
and then I would hire them.
And do you headhunt them or do you, um, how do you get them connected with your company at that point?
Yeah, I've usually done it, or either if we have a common friend, be introduced.
Okay.
I have used LinkedIn a lot, just cold, reaching out to like competitors' bests,
Yeah.
and really just started conversations there. And yeah, then we'd start the interview process.
Do you ever put it out for application and resumes and stuff like that?
I used to do that. My first company, Boone, which was way back, like 2005, 6, 7. We were growing at a very fast rate, and so we did put jobs on Monster and Indeed and all of that, and
Hmm.
I hated it
Okay.
because we had 2,000 applicants, and the ones that look good on paper, aren't always the best ones. So it was hard. It was a lot of reading, and we got smart somewhere along the line. I started doing video interviews. So we'd give them
Hmm.
5 questions and they'd send in a video, which would help a lot right away to kind of see who they were. But yeah, that process is very painful. So I generally don't do that. I'll search for, I've used agencies to try to hire for us. I've done it myself, and I've usually asked around and try to find the best of the best.
So it's usually reputation, a common friend, LinkedIn, of where you kind of know what you want before you
Hmm.
even get them. Do you still have
Yes.
them apply, or is it just kind of like, hey, let's sit down and talk?
No, well, it depends. If it's like C-level, it's a talk.
Mm-hmm.
If it's something else, it's an application for sure.
Okay. Well, when it comes to the interview stage, what qualities or skills make someone stand out during the initial hiring process beyond their resumes or their formal qualifications?
Qualities.
Yeah.
So you asked qualities. So I look for confidence and smart questions. If they just show us that they know what the job is and understand it thoroughly, good communicators. And then personality weighs in pretty heavily for me because the culture is everything. So we need more upbeat, kind of happy people.
When you say smart questions, are you saying that they have smart questions that they ask
Yes.
you? Oh, interesting.
Yes. When if I say you have any questions, and they don't have any, then I'm wondering, if they've done their homework.
Right.
So generally, if they know about our business and they know about the role based on digging in a little bit before the interview, that's a big win.
What would you say is the most common reason someone gets hired over somebody if there's multiple candidates?
Successful experience, I think, if it's relevant and they did a good job, and if they're employed and they're already in demand, that's always valuable to me. If they're unemployed, that's usually a red flag.
Okay. Huh. This is good information. Are there any warning signs or gaps to make you hesitant to hire someone even if they appear qualified on paper?
Um, Enthusiasm is important to me. Like when I meet them in person, I need to feel that they really want the job, that they're excited about the brand and working for us. I think that's a big one. Trying to think. Sorry, I didn't get a lot of sleep last night. What was the question again?
If there's any gaps or warning signs that makes it
Warning signs.
Yeah.
Okay, so low energy. They don't know. This has happened too, where they don't even know who they're applying to. That's annoying. Like, oh no, it's not that. It's this. I think, yeah, if they just don't know anything about the job, if there's certain holes in the job, like let's say social media, but they don't know how to post a reel, that's a problem. So just their knowledge of the job.
Or if they don't even know what a reel is. What is that? It's so funny. Because I've had that too. It's like, yeah, I've done a lot of social media. Okay. What is a reel? I don't know. I've used a reel when I fish. And it's like, oh, my word. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've had those myself. Well, so there's a stage in between, like, all right, they've interviewed and now they're working there. There's like a trial stage. After someone's hired, what qualities or behaviors help them become a strong, long fit for the workforce when they first get started?
I think work ethic, really just how hard they work, how hard they try. And so I've been patient with people who don't get stuff right away because they're trying really hard and they want to learn. And I think that's really important. Also, culturally, if they fit in, that's really important to me too. If they come in and they're shaking it up and annoying some people, that's usually a red flag. And then I've done trials with the creative teams because it's really hard to find good like brand fits creatively, like graphic design. And so I'll actually do a trial where they have 6 weeks and then they're either hired or not. So I've always liked that one with the creatives because you have to have the right fit for your brand. Yeah, I think it's more, do they fit in? Are they working hard? Are they motivated? Do they want to learn more? And I've always been an advocate, like, especially entry level jobs. If somebody shines in a different space or they're interested in another space in the business, I'm willing to train them and let them move if they're motivated. And that's really served me well. We've had a lot of people switch positions completely because they just fell in love with something else. Maybe they're tired of that, or maybe they went to school for the wrong thing. But anything they're passionate about, they generally do a good job.
Oh, good.
So we flex on that.
I'm just writing some stuff down. Are there any skills or characteristics that separate employees that simply perform their jobs from those that become a strong candidate for promotion?
Skills or what?
Skills or characteristics or traits that separate employees who just simply just do their job, they come, clock in, clock out, and those that you would want to promote.
Yeah, and it's interesting because there's different roles that bring different things, right? So you can't make it based on revenue they brought in because the sales guy's going to outwin someone else, right? But generally, it's just a willingness, especially I've done all startups. I've built 5 different businesses. So especially in the beginning when there's 6 or 10 or 12 employees, everybody has to do 6 jobs. So I love people who are willing to do the stuff that they didn't sign up for without being asked. I think that's I see that and I weigh that into their value. And generally like Christmas bonuses, stuff like that, or even like you said, moving up to the next level is all based on that. And not only are they doing their job, but how are they helping in the other parts of the businesses? Are they across, and it's been interesting. We've had CFOs hold, props up for photos, and we've been like, it just everybody stretches and does what they have to do when they have to do it, and that's the kind of person that I like to give back to, is the one that's hustling.
I like that. Without being asked, that's an interesting phrase. I'm trying to think of a word that would, like, self-starters. Yeah, I'm just trying to think because the qualities, behaviors, and skill gaps that help them just thrive in the company.
I think it's just an awareness to see.
Okay.
It's an awareness when they see a need, and then it's a humility to do whatever needs to get done. So I've also hired people who think certain things are below their pay grade, and somebody's got to do it. So I was the CEO of my first company. I had probably 12 employees, and I still cleaned the toilet. So I expect others to do whatever needs to get done. And so when they recognize it and they do whatever it takes, those are my people for sure.
Yeah, those are the ones you want on the team. Well, when it comes to promotion, I'm not sure how each company does it, but are there any qualities, behaviors, or skill gaps that prevent people from being promoted even when they're technically good at their jobs?
The only thing I can think is if there's not a job above their job. You know what I mean?
If there's not a job above their job?
Right. I mean, if they're doing their job and they want to be promoted.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And there's only that, or it depends on the stage of the company. Maybe you can't give raises because the revenue's not there yet. There's lots of different things that weigh into it. But from their own personal position and their work ethic, if they're working hard and doing their job well, I don't think there is anything that I would hold back.
Okay. If they're just doing it well, yeah, for sure.
Those are the keepers, right? Keep them happy.
Yeah, and that's the thing, because if you don't have money to promote them or a title, compliments and stuff like that, I've heard it's just like those go a long ways.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I've got 2 more questions for you. When you think about people who are most successful in your organization or industry, what
Mhm.
qualities, characteristics, skills do they consistently demonstrate?
Drive, being organized, hustling, putting in the time, um, keeping up with new technology or new changes to their space in the industry. Most of them that I know are really good networkers where they have a lot of people that they can reach out to if they come to hard places in their job, to
Hmm.
find out how to take it to the next level, etc. They're savvy on software and whatever's. I'm just thinking about the different ones, CFO, tax changes, that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
They're staying in the know, and they're hustling, doing a good job.
yeah, that's interesting. Um, I teach study and life skills up on campus, and it's funny because you basically went down the list of things that I teach them:
Oh, good.
organization, self-awareness,
Yep,
working with other people, with the networking. Like it's funny, and so if anything, this research has shown that I'm teaching the right things.
good.
We just need to teach them across the board a little bit better. All right, I've got one last question for you, Rebecca. This is a reflection question. So, if you were to advise your 17-year-old self who wants to be hired, succeeds, and eventually be promoted, what would you tell yourself to develop first and why?
I would say learn a skill and learn it well. That's the best way to stand out quickly when you're 17. Whatever skill you want, but be the best.
I love that. I love that you didn't say, all right, you got to learn everything. It's just learn one skill, do it best. And because do you find that success is built into other opportunities and ways to grow?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Learn a skill, learn it best. That's awesome. Well, that kind of concludes the questions I have. We've run through them pretty quick. Do you know of anybody else that would be a good person to talk to kind of gather this information? My goal is to get 100 interviews, and I'd say I'm about at 15. But I'm doing this the whole summer. Is there anybody else that you feel would be a good person to talk to about hiring and promoting and the it factor, I'd say?
Uh, I'm still kind of new around here.
Well, they
I'm
could be
thinking,
anywhere, like if it's back in Austin or anything like that. In fact, you don't need to give me anything now, because
okay,
I'll send you an email that of course, to thank you for your time and stuff, and just um, I formed a template that some people have used to send out. Rob kind of did his different thing. It was like, all right, I took some of it and I adapted it, and he sent me your email address. And so I'll send you something that, as you sit and think about it, and you want to forward that on to people, or just respond back and say, all right, here's a person. You can just drop my name and do those things. But and any help would be grateful.
you bet.
All right. Well, do you have any questions for me? I know I spent a lot of time asking those questions for you, but
No, I don't think so. Good luck with everything. Hope your
thank you.
research goes well. So you're
Thank
on
you.
sabbatical right now?
Yep, I'm on sabbatical right now, me and Rob. Yep.
Nice.
And I have my first actual trip next week of where I actually go and visit some employers face to face, and that would be pretty fun. I'm going to Arizona, um, and I'm headed to Dallas here in August, so that would be fun too. But here it's a hard time to travel up down to.
Yeah, you're going to all the hot places, you
I
silly
know,
man.
I know.
You're supposed to be going north, not south.
I want to get a great farmer's tan, and I think this is the best way to do
Okay,
it.
definitely in Arizona. Have fun.
Well, Rebecca, thank you for your time. I appreciate it, and I'm glad we're finally able to connect up.
Yeah, sorry about that. Have
All
a good
right,
one.
you too. Thank you.
Bye.